The UAW targeted strike, not so targeted anymore. Broader by the day with more impacts by the day. How long is it going to last? And where are we with it? We bring in Michael LeRoy, School of Labor and Employment Relations, College of Law, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. And Michael joins us now. Good morning, Professor. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for asking me on.
Appreciate you coming back. Where are we with this strike?
Well, it's ramping up as you described. So the pressure's mounting. It looks like the UAW is going to walk out at one or more plants tomorrow by noon. It's already having a ripple effect. We have a non-union supplier that makes chassis for Jeep, which is a very common thing, but they've shut down, and that's not even visible to us. So it's really spreading, and in the Midwest, we will feel these effects, now and certainly going into the next few days.
So is there a plan in place that's already been mapped out and they're following a playbook, or is this more organic?
I think it's more organic. The union has its greatest bargaining power in over 50 years. You have a new UAW president. He's rallied the troops. Those are all sensible things from their side of the ball. The concern is, are they asking for the sun, the moon, the stars? Will they know when it's time to make a deal? And to their point, automakers, the three automakers over the past 10 years, according to the union, have booked $250 billion in profit. The UAW says we just want our share of the profits. The reality on the other side of the ball is that Ford, GM, and Stellantis, that's the former Jeep Chrysler brand, are more expensive than the Toyota and the non-union plants. So the automakers are concerned about being price competitive in the market. So we're at a very tricky point. There's so many issues on the table, Steve, that I worry about the negotiators getting lost in the muddle.
Well, and, we talked to Jane the other day. We talked to somebody who knows from the auto business, Phil LeBeau at CNBC. He said, wouldn't surprise him at all if we're talking about a strike in December.
Well, that's a great question, because I just said, are these striking workers prepared to be on strike for months and months?
That's a good question. That would be a huge timeline. The UAW has built a strike fund, so they're paying their members $500 a week to be idle. So they have a cushion to work with. On the other hand, these automakers, there has to be some concern about putting your automaker at such a competitive disadvantage that they'll have trouble getting back. And a background feature in all of this is, however this settles out, whether it's tomorrow, December, or some point in between or beyond, this probably gets the automakers to think even more seriously about introducing more automation, taking more production to Mexico. And so the union has to be careful not to overshoot the runway here.
That's the thing, getting a problem solved now and paying the price for it later. Ultimately, the company can last longer than the employees. Is the union serving their membership appropriately if this goes on even a month?
Right. Those are long strikes that we're conjecturing about. To give this some context, I would just note we've had a lot of strike activity in the news the past year or so. The Writers Guild and the actors strike, that has long legs. We're into 4 months for the writers, right. 2 months for the actors. So there's a concern there. The UPS strike, which I think is a more relevant comparison, that was a short strike. So again, we'll see what happens here. But it's also important to note that we as the public, we don't know how the parties are playing their cards. And so in some sense, one of the advantages of having many issues on the table is you can start to link and interconnect them. You can horse trade. Steve, you give me this, I'll give you that. Okay, that's off the table, and then we can move forward. I think background issues that are going to be really tough to deal with is the union's asking for restoration of what are called defined benefit pension plans. That's a no-go for the automakers. For the UAW, they want to take care of their retirees. Their view is these people have put time into the plants. They've made sacrifices for 30 years. They deserve a good pension. The company's standpoint is, why are we putting billions of dollars into people who don't work for us anymore? Because it's a continuing funding obligation, which is different from a 401k. So I'm curious to see how they're going to get that one settled.
Yeah, well, that's the ongoing problem we have in Illinois, with the pension situation. You have people that have paid their way in, who have committed to a plan and not gone into a 401k and other things. They don't have time to make that up. And readjusting that where new members get paid a different level has not worked in Illinois because it's been challenged and adjusted and things. Everybody wants what they want when they want it, but I feel like, nobody's paying attention to what it means 2, 3, 5 years down the road.
That's true. And you're absolutely right. And a key difference is the taxpayer's on the hook ultimately in Illinois for these public pension funds. And full disclosure, I am a beneficiary of one of these funds or a participant. But having said that, I worry about my kids paying taxes to support this plan. I mean, it's just not a wise investment of resources. But a company is really on the hook. Now, Chicago experienced at least one, and I think 2 bankruptcies by Chicago-based United Airlines when it was over pension funds that just got far too expensive. So they went into bankruptcy. They were able to shed those liabilities. And so in some sense, even a union that's holding on to these benefits, if their employer can't pay for it, they wind up in bankruptcy court. And now they've lost everything. And that is different from the public sector. Illinois cannot go to a bankruptcy court and shed these debts.
Well, we need to stay in touch with you because obviously this is not going away. What do you anticipate the next major step will be?
They'll meet tomorrow at noon. That's as far as my crystal ball sees. I really don't know.
I think that's fair. I don't know how you can predict anything beyond that.
Yeah. We'll just see. I'm just. It's important for the economy. I'll just share this quick thought. 3% of our GDP is related to auto manufacturing. There are a lot of elements that are not just the assembly plants that are in play here. So it's in our national interest to see this settled quickly and equitably.
Hopefully they can do it.
And we can take this up again down the road. I just wonder, as this goes on, with all this strike talk that happens, there's got to be a different business model. How much can the rank and file allow their leadership to continue to do the strikes? And I'm not banging on unions. I'm a union member.
Yeah, me too. But it goes across all of these different areas of business. And I also, the economy, you think, we're uncertain times, grocery prices are high, gas is high, we're on strike. How long can this last? Because you think about the overall economy and think about the personal economy.
It's a scary thing. Mm-hmm. And Michael, we're glad you're there for us. You're a great resource. Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Have a good day.
All right, take care. I like him.
I like him too.
He needs to fix stuff instead of just telling us about it. I need Michael to fix this today.
Yeah, and his crystal ball, fix it.
That's a new thing I'm doing with guests now. Any guest that's on, okay, fix it. Might be tough to continue to book people.
I think Michael probably could fix it.
He is good.